Good afternoon.
Hello.
I'm just wondering, it's been cold for the rest of us. How's the weather affected what you've been trying to do in the run-up to a game against Crystal Palace?
Yesterday indoor and today outside, but difficult. But we tried, we worked. Atmosphere positive, and we can't complain because it's over. So for the rest of the day, the players they can be at home.
You've been full of praise for Scott McTominay over the last 2 or 3 weeks because of his performances. It looks like England and Scotland are both vying for his services. What would be your advice to him as to what decision to take on that?
I don't know if that is true. I can't confirm because I have no information about that. And my advice to him is not about national teams. It's not about that. My advice to him is to keep the way he is, very humble, very open to learn, intelligent, and keep going in the same direction, same profile, trying to fight to have minutes with Manchester United, which is not easy. And then national team will be just a consequence of his work at the club. But I can't confirm at all that both national teams have contacted him because I don't know.
Have you been surprised by the speed in which he looks comfortable as a Manchester United player? Because it doesn't happen to every young player. It's not an easy thing you ask.
No. Real evolution, but I think consequence of his profile as a boy. And I think people around him is the right people. I think I never met them, but I have to believe that the kid with his attitude towards the others and towards football, I believe that the parents, they must be really good people that pass to him the right values, and the kid is very fit on the ground. He's very calm. So I think he passed some important tests, not by the football point of view, but I think more by the mental point of view. Maturity, calm, play against the champions, play knockout in the Champions League. 2 tests by the mental approach. So I think long way to go, obviously, but very fit on the ground, very stable, and I just hope he can keep the same direction.
Jose, you put a bit of a gap between yourselves and Chelsea last week with that result. Given that you're still in the Champions League and the FA Cup, does it matter whether you finish 2nd or 4th as long as you finish in that 4th?
No, first of all, the gap is a very short gap. 6 points between the 2nd and the 5th is really, really short, is really, really open for everybody. But all four we are in the Champions League still. So we have other focus, other targets, all of us. I have to say, all of us very good teams. In spite of sometimes the way I read, it looks like all the others are better than us, but I'm not so sure if that's the reality. So I would say 4 very good teams and 1 will be out of the Champions League. If you ask me 2nd or 4th, I say by the financial point of view doesn't make a difference. By the prestige point of view doesn't make a difference. You go to Champions League and even the 4th doesn't have even now to play the last qualification match. But by the personal point of view, second is better than third, and third is better than fourth. So we are going to try the best possible. Of course, the top four is very difficult, and in this moment, that's the main target for us. But if you can finish third, we are not going to finish fourth. If you can finish second, we are not going to finish third.
Just in terms of two players, Fellaini and Ibrahimovic, who are not playing at the moment, and it almost seems every week there is another story about their futures. Is there any update? Has Fellaini decided to leave? Is Ibrahimovic ready to play?
You know, they finish their contracts, as you know. For Zlatan, we all think his last season at Manchester United, and will be a very personal decision for him to play or to stop. You know, I think he won the right of choose his life, his future. Such an amazing player with such an amazing career. That awful injury in the wrong moment broke a fantastic couple of seasons that he could and should have with us. This season really difficult for him. Is he injured? No, he's not injured. Does he feel totally happy, totally ready, and totally convinced that he's in conditions to help the team in this moment? No. But he's such an honest guy and such a champion that he only wants to be back with that feeling of I'm totally ready for it. So he's working hard, and hopefully his evolution brings him to that level that he wants to have a positive answer. Fellaini is a different story. He's still a young player. His injury had a little surgery, but a minor surgery, and he will be back to play again in a couple of weeks. So if we proceed in the Champions League after Sevilla, I think we will be ready for an hypothetical quarterfinal. You will be happy. You will be ready for an hypothetical FA Cup semi-final. You will be ready for the last couple of months of our Premiership fight. Is he going to stay or leave? I don't know. I want him to stay. The club want him to stay. The process, the negotiations, the numbers, the distances between the offer and what he wants, I really don't know how things are going.